Hello everyone and welcome to another video. If you watched yesterday, you'll remember that I played a diverse world and didn't have a very good round, so I've decided today to try the online version of famous places. We'll see if there's anything new or any more places on this online version. I think on the iPad we were running up against the limit. I'll give myself a couple of minutes and hopefully do a bit better than yesterday. Let's start the game. Okay, well, we recognize this straight away. This is obviously the Statue of Liberty. And we're on the New Jersey side of the sort of New York City Bay area. Let's zoom in and take a look. And drag it around here and get in here. Right, there we go. So what we see here is the Statue of Liberty monument with this castle sign on it. And then on the west side here, we've got this little walkway which spans this kind of watery estuary on the left as well. So you can see that we're actually on that. The question, I suppose, is just quite how far down. We can maybe look out to the Statue of Liberty and try to triangulate. Where would we be dead west of? What's directly in front of us there? We're about dead west of the end of this kind of island, aren't we? I wonder if we can see that. So that's not Liberty Island, but beyond it, heading dead west. Yes, it's going to be this one, isn't it? Governor's Island. So let me, just using my cursor here, I'm going to try and eyeball it. And say, you know what, I think we're about where we are, actually. Let's just check I put the pin actually on the thing. And look, I think that's going to be as good a guess as any, so we'll go with that. Oh, a bit frustrating. We were slightly further down, but close enough. Wow, what a fantastic view. I don't immediately know off the top of my head where this is. It could be Greece or Athens, for example. It looks very Athens-like to me. I get the feeling we're behind a monument somewhere. Yes, and I think we probably are. So what is that? That's the main question. It doesn't look like the Acropolis to me, which is the main structure there, the main famous place. The sun is sort of slightly south, so we're almost definitely in Europe, I think. Not sure on this one. So that structure, where is that exactly in relation to us? It is sort of southeast. So let's get into Greece. Let's get into Athens. I think we're about there. It is, after all, meant to be a famous place, so I'd hope I should recognize it. And I know that the Acropolis and so on is somewhere in the middle here. So look, we've got the Acropolis of Athens right there. This whole structure. And I think we can see something related to it. I think, you know, it is to our east. We are looking east and slightly south. And so we could easily be sort of up here, I think, on this mound. So I'm going to go put a pin here. I don't think there's much else I can do to triangulate myself exactly. It's quite hard to tell how far away we are. Look, there's a main road there. So why don't we try and use that? If that main road here is that one there, the Stixalu, then I think we're okay. So why don't we stick with that? Oh, and we were close. We were close. We were actually closer to the Acropolis than I thought, and the road that we were looking at was actually this one here, the Apostolou Pavlou. Quite hard to tell, I think, because obviously it's hard to tell that this is a hill. I mean, it says hill, but you know, it's not green, and I associate green with sort of designated parkland, I suppose. So something to know for next time. Anyway, excuses. Next round. This is my old favorite, the Panama Bridge. It doesn't seem to me like there's too many different famous places, to be honest. I think I say this often when I play, that often seems to run out. I often come across the same place over and over again. Now we've had this issue before here. This bridge to me looks like it's dead north. I'm looking north, okay, but then the city and the river continues to our right. Now here, quite clearly on the map, the bridge runs southwest and the river continues to the right. So a bit confusing, that one. I've never quite understood that with this map location. Seems a bit strange. Maybe the compass is off, or there's some magnetic hocus pocus going on. But anyway, look, I'm just double checking to say we're actually over the land on this bridge, so I think I'll just put us there and go for the guess. Okay, well, close enough. Next round. I don't believe that pin is where it says it is, but anyway. This looks interesting now. I've not seen this one before. I believe that these are American presidents. That is certainly Lincoln. He's got a very famous face. And so could we be in the White House? Look at all these people here. Yes, this is Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. This gentleman here. So forget famous places, we're looking at famous people. Who's this lovely lady? Mrs. Nancy Reagan. Go on, let's do one more. Who's that? Is that Hillary Clinton? Yes, it is. Hillary Clinton. Wow, fantastic. What great images. So look, I think we're in the White House. Let's go for an explore. Got to be conscious of the time here. In my terrible round, I also ran out of time. Slightly embarrassing. I suppose a key thing for me is going to be, whereabouts in the White House are we? Let's get in there and just try and use this garden that we're looking at to triangulate. So we're in Washington, D.C. And the White House, I think, is this one here. No, it is not. And that's the Capitol. Which one's the White House again? Is that right first time? Oh, yes, it is. Oh, I was right first time. There we go. Okay, right. White House. So look, we're looking south, aren't we? So we're going to be in probably one of these wings, the East Garden Room. Why don't we go for the East Garden Room? We've only got a few seconds left. We're definitely on one of those long hallways. So, close enough. We were on the East Colonnade. I think that's fantastic. So I spoke a little too earlier. We actually do have some new places on famous places. I've not seen the White House before, so fantastic. And I think I can get this one without moving as well. This is a famous fort in Oslo. Long-term viewers will have remembered this one from probably one of my earliest rounds on GeoGuessr. The question is, just have to figure out where this one is. It's a bit funny. It's on quite a small island. Is it one of these? Something or other here. Oscarborg Festning. This sounds about right. So you should see the shape of this building in a second. There we go. Yes, it's quite iconic. And so we're clearly about here. You can see this kind of curvy structure around this. What am I doing? Let me zoom around. There we go. So that really shows it. So yes, again, the only reason I know this is not because I'm particularly worldly or that knowledgeable, but just because I've seen it before. So let's make the guess. Fantastic. View summary. Okay, well look, it's fair to say much more successful round than yesterday. I think we got those all right. I'd say the hardest one was probably the Greece Athens one there for me. So look, why don't we play the same map again and just sort of keep it going. See if there are some different places. I might increase or decrease the time limit by 30 seconds as well, just to keep things going. Why not? Wow, look at this. Okay, so this is new to me. I don't recognize this. We're clearly in some kind of amphitheater. It's going to be Greece or Turkey. That's how it feels. I wonder if we can see. Well, actually, I say that the sun is in the north there, but occasionally I get duped by that. So I'm going to stick with my guns. It looks Greek or Turkish to me. Let's get in there. So we've done Athens before already. This video. Are we back in Athens? I've got to remember as well. I don't have so long this time. I'm going to put a safety pin there because it's probably not a bad guess, but then actually just go over and explore Turkey. The reason I say that is I do remember there being something in Turkey before, but whereabouts is, I'm not sure. Isn't there a famous library or something that we've seen? This is clearly a huge amphitheater type arrangement. Well, look, I'm not going to, on second thoughts, I'm going to back out of that and just stick with Athens and see if I can see, like this, for example. And I don't feel like we're near the US Embassy. Oh, we were in Turkey. I should have stuck with it. This is good knowledge. Okay, this is good knowledge. So let's try and work this one out. It is the place I was thinking of before, although I mentioned the library, and that's not here. This is clearly some fantastic site area. Selçuk or Selçuk, that's what we need to remember for next time. The amphitheater Ephesus, that's what we were looking at. The amphitheater Ephesus. And there's a library around here as well that we've been put out before, and it looked equally as fantastic. So that's great to know. Not a high scoring points game, but a new location, one to remember. So that's great. Well, this is clearly New York City. New York City is never very hard to remember, to recognize. And we're outside a Lego store. Well, I know that there's a Lego store actually at Rockefeller Center in Manhattan. So why don't we go there? In fact, we don't even have to move. I think we can see this room, maybe not. We can move somewhere. Where are we moving? Right, well, we're actually inside the Lego store. So that's interesting. Let's try and get out and do a bit more with our location here. 45 seconds to go, so you're going to have to get a lick on. These street signs are probably going to be the best. Let's zoom up and get in there. New York. I've got to work on my zooming here. It's not quite quick enough or accurate enough. So I think there, are we looking at a 23 or a 33? What is that? 14th Street? No. 21, 22, 23, and is that a Fifth Avenue? Fifth Avenue is famous for its shopping. The Lego store, Flatiron District. Yes, sir. We have found it. Well, I think we're on 5th, so, and we're on the street, and with 2 seconds to go, I'll put that pin down. Well, look, I disagree with that to some extent, because we're clearly not actually on the road there, although it's hard to tell without the overlay exactly where the thing is putting you. But I regard this as the sidewalk, surely, between the building and the street. Maybe the street is much wider, but that's even less of a reason for the actual flag to be there. Anyway, I'm just getting pedantic because I didn't get full points. And you see now the time is ticking away, and unfortunately the location hasn't loaded. So I've lost a few seconds already. Where is this? This looks interesting. Looks European. Can't read that writing, I'm afraid, but we've got a flag around here, so let's go for that. Ooh, unusual. What are we looking at there? Let's do some moving. Wow, a very modern structure in the distance. I don't recognize this at all. This is superb. So is this somewhere like Copenhagen? It's got a kind of a Scandi feel to it, I would say. Let's go back over here. And we did see a flag. We might be able to get closer to this monument as well. Let's have a look back at that flag. It was hard to tell from where we were before. Unless, of course, it's not the state flag. Look, I think it is. That's clearly the Danish flag, I think with some kind of emblem on top of it. Or, you know, some insignia, perhaps a royal insignia. So let's get in there, go to Copenhagen. Now we're looking across the river. Oh, no, I don't have any time. Oh, my time's out. There we go. I'm going in there. Oh, that was close. Oh, what a guess. I thought I had another 30 seconds to check, and I did not. So we're very lucky there. Do load, please. Yes, there we go. And just by chance, really, I put the pin down in the pretty much spot on. So yeah, no complaints. If we'd have zoomed in a fraction further, we'd have seen this. This is obviously a very iconic kind of layout with this garden that we looked across. And there was a modern building over here. What were we looking at? We were looking at the Opera House. Fantastic. All this stuff is temporarily closed because at the time I'm filming, we have this global COVID crisis going on. So that's why everything says closed for future reference. And then in the distance, we could see this Frederick's Church as well, the marble church. Fantastic, which we didn't get the chance to explore. But anyway, another new location. So that's fantastic. Well, we know this one, really without having to move at all. In fact, this is very close to home for me. I live in London. And not only that, but actually this very road that I'm on is one that I cycle down almost every day to and from my work. So it would be remiss of me not to know it. We should be able to get a proper score here. Let's just try and figure it out. There's obviously a lot of barriers and stuff going on here, and I think we're about here. In fact, look, we can see the statue of this horse here, which we're pretty much bang on top of. And yes, here you can see this side access route, which is for parliamentarians and other diplomats and members of the civil service who need to enter the Houses of Parliament. And obviously there is a lot of security here. So let's just try and triangulate where we are exactly with that horse. You can see to our left there is this sort of St. Stephen's Hall, that'll be in the distance here. And you can see that, that facade there. Perhaps we're a bit further down, but look, I'm not going to finickety over it too long. There we go, we were within a meter, so fantastic. I should know that, after all, it's where I'm from. This is a beautiful location. I don't recognize it off the top of my head, but would you look at this? This is just stunning. So, surely this is one of the great European cities like Budapest. Never been to Budapest, but I know it sits over. You have Buda and Pest on one side and the other, and this looks like it might very well be that. So let's zoom in and see if it makes sense. If not, Vienna, Prague, all possible candidates. I'm going to put a safety pin down because I have a habit of forgetting the clock exists. And you can see that there's a few bridges here across the Danube. So what are we going to try? What are we going to try? Well, let's see what we can see on the river. We can see one bridge definitely to our north. And then we can see this weir here. And if we just move one slot over, there's an island to our south in the river. An island to our south. So look, here's an island, okay? And if we zoom up here, I can see a bridge to the north. So is it that we are on this? Is it that we are on this bridge? Is this the famous bridge? Oh, and we were in Prague. Well, look, that's why I put a safety pin down, because didn't I just say it? I forget. I ran out of time. I think we would have got there, perhaps, if we had much, much more time, because it wasn't lining up for me, was it? The bridge that we were looking at just then actually struck the island, if you see what I mean, that we were looking at in the river, and this one clearly did not. So here we go, that was the island that we could see below us. and then this was the bridge that we could see above us, so to the north of us. So unfortunately, the guess was wrong going with Budapest early. We should have gone with Prague. Well, look, altogether a bit more challenging, so that's great. I'm thrilled actually that there's some new places clearly in there, and it just so happens to be luck, frankly, if you get one that you've seen before. There's definitely, Turkey, Prague there. Didn't know those, so that's fantastic. It goes to show that the famous places map online here is still a test. So I'll keep it in the cycle. Well, thank you very much for playing with me today. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you in the next one.